is a Hall of Fame weekend here at Minute Maid Park as we conclude this three-game series against the Los Angeles Angels. A couple of 11-3 wins helping to celebrate the Summer of Bills. Bill Brown, legendary television play-by-play man for the Astros, and Bill Doran going into the Astros Hall of Fame. And with the Astros winning those first two games against the Angels, they are still 2.5 games behind the Rangers, who keep winning as well, as they have won their first two games against the Giants in that series in San Francisco. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Plum. Plummer, you saw in those standings the Angels starting to drop off a little bit. It would be nice to get a sweep against this team before they head to Texas.
I think it would be great. I know the Angels kind of had big plans after that trade deadline, not going the way they want, but the Astros a real chance to suppress them within the division.
So the Astros scoring 22 runs in this series. The offense is back, especially with two key guys back in that lineup.
Yeah, getting Altuve and Alvarez back, we've been talking about it for a long time. Just getting them back and healthy would create all kinds of issues for opposing pitchers, and now it's starting to come to fruition. One of the biggest keys is you start to create depth. You move Alex Bregman into that spot, and you start to see other guys in the bottom part of the lineup. But we've seen it over the last couple of games, how that 7, 8, 9 can be effective with going out there and picking up some of the guys that are left on base, driving them in, if not getting on base themselves, and scoring a ton of runs because of guys at the top of the lineup are driving them in. But having these two guys in that lineup, you can see the difference in the last 16 games, jumping 26 runs in that amount of time as opposed to the previous 16 games. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, Altuve and Alvarez had only played 13 games together before this recent stretch of 16 games, and the offense has definitely picked up with them in there. Hall of Fame weekend. We'll have plenty of Hall of Fame discussions during the course of the day. Bill Doran's going to join us in the booth. We had Brownie in the booth on Friday. They were honored yesterday. We'll reflect back on a Hall of Fame Saturday when we come back.
Ball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
This is Christopher Russo. This is Joey Votto. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Christopher Russo plays hard, so he doesn't end up here.
Must be nice to sit atop that Madison Avenue ivory tower, looking down at us with those luscious locks. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace.
High Heat with Christopher Russo.
It took me the last 2 weeks prepping for this interview. I didn't realize how much I love you. You're the best.
On MLB Network.
As part of Hall of Fame weekend, presented by Houston Methodist, it is the newest. There are the two newest inductees, Bill Brown, Bill Doran, as they were honored last night here at Minute Maid Park. Always great to see the Hall of Famers back, and last night we had a chance to honor Bill Brown and Bill Doran. We'll hear from Billy D during the course of the broadcast today.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, we got to hang out with Bill Brown that first game, having him sit in for TK briefly, and that was a lot of fun to kind of reminisce, but having Billy Doran come in is going to be awesome.
So the Orange Jackets were on display last night, the Hall of Fame night. All the past Hall of Famers were there, and then Billy Brown and Bill Doran were honored last night, and they are now the latest inductees into the Astros Hall of Fame.
Yeah, forever immortalized out there in that home run alley. It's a lot of fun to see the smiles on those two men, Bill Brown and Billy Doran. But at the same time, it's that group of guys that kind of reminisce, and you get reminded of the legacy of this organization. They've just started a great thing here with the Orange Jackets, and the guys that fill up those Orange Jackets have done a very good job being good players and good people.
During the course of today's broadcast, we will review some of the great moments this week for the Astros. There have been some individual moments that have stood out, including John Singleton and Kyle Tucker. More on that as the game progresses.
This is Christopher Russo. This is Joey Votto. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Christopher Russo plays hard, so he doesn't end up here.
Must be nice to sit atop that Madison Avenue ivory tower, looking down on us with those luscious locks. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace.
High Heat with Christopher Russo.
It took me the last 2 weeks prepping for this interview. I didn't realize how much I love you. You are the best.
On MLB Network.
The power of baseball goes beyond the field.
What an exciting time.
Stand up,
We are Jackie Robinson.
Together. Together. Together.
Together.
Sage, official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. By Frontier, save 25% off summer energy charges with the Frontier Summer Saver Plan. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
We welcome everyone back. Series finale here between the Angels and the Astros. And what a game it was last night. A huge win for the Astros. Offense scoring 11 runs once again. But what should not get lost is the work of J.P. France. 2 earned over 7 innings. He gets his 9th win. That's tied for the best on the team. He's had a great year. He's our best in Texas power pitcher. Driven by Ford as we take a closer look at what he's done, especially lately. He has been on a roll, 5-0 in his last 5 starts. You look at that ERA too, 1.44. Things have really come together for him lately. The cutter's still a big pitch for him. They're all kind of doing what, all of his pitches doing what he wants them to lately, but he continues to stay in the moment and not look ahead, not think too much about what's going on around him because of how well he's doing. He wants it to continue, but we can't tell him where we shouldn't tell him as he continues to stay in the moment that he's one of only 4 Astros rookies to ever go as deep as 7, 4 straight, allowing 2 or less runs. That's Don Wilson, Roy Oswalt, Ken Forsch, and J.P. Incredible company, Blummer.
It is really incredible company. Once you put all those names on that screen right there, those pitchers turned out to have great careers. J.P. France would like to continue in that vein, but he's doing a great job of picking up innings, backing up that bullpen. But today it's going to be José Urquidy making his 2nd start since coming off that injured list. You see overall on the season 7 starts, so this will mark his 8th start of the season, 2nd start since coming off that injury list. Last time out, only went 3 1/3, throwing 62 pitches against the New York Yankees, and they got to him for 5 earned runs.
Here's a lineup that Urquidy will face, sent out by Phil Nevin. Mickey Moniak back in that leadoff spot. Hasn't been there since early July. Shohei Otani is the DH. Brandon Drury will bat third. Mike Moustakas will hit cleanup today. He's had a nice run in an Angels uniform. Hunter Renfroe in right field. Luis Rengifo at shortstop. And then the final three, Randall Grichuk on his 32nd birthday. The local product bats seventh and plays left field. Eduardo Escobar bats eighth. And Chad Wallach will catch and hit ninth for the Angels. Astros starting defense presented by Xfinity. Yordan Alvarez back out there in left field. He's got Chaz McCormick in center. Kyle Tucker as usual in right. A little different look to the middle of the infield today for the Astros. Mauricio Dubon starting at second. Gray Kessinger starting at short. Off day for Jeremy Pena. Jose Altuve will DH. The corners are Alex Bregman and John Singleton getting his fourth straight start, starting every game of this series. And behind the plate catching Jose Urquidy is Martin Maldonado. Ready to go on a Sunday afternoon, and first pitch is a called strike. Lance Barrett giving Jose Urquidy that first one, and Mickey Moniak down in the count 0-1. Moniak last batted leadoff on July 5th. It's his 25th time in the leadoff spot. Luis Rengifo's been up there recently, but Rengifo moving down to the sixth spot. Moniak down in the count 0-2. Urquidy's second start since April 30th. Plummer mentioned his numbers in his last start. A lot of those runs came in after he left the game, as he left with the bases loaded and they all scored. That one missing down, 2-2. Jose pitching here at home for the first time since April 30th. And Moniak fouls that one away, stays 2-2. Astros come into today having won 9 out of 12 games. They are 68-50, a season high 18 games over 500. That's the good news for Dusty Baker and his coaching staff. Foul tip caught by Maldonado. Moniak goes down on strikes.
Stayed with fastballs away and a couple of changeups mixed in there under matches from Supermo. You're going to see that four-seamer stay right on that outside edge. A little foul tip into the glove of Martin Maldonado for the first out and first strikeout of the game for Urquidy.
Now Urquidy will face Shohei Otani, American League reigning player of the month in July. Otani continues to play at an incredible clip. Game number 117 of 119 for the Angels. By far the most games played of any of the Angels. And while he is DHing, which doesn't seem to be as strenuous as playing in the field, he is pitching every 6 days and playing 117 out of 119.
Yeah, that's just what you see on the field. It's everything that he's doing in between. He's DHing while prepping for his next start, which makes it what he's doing that much more impressive.
It's an incredible workload, and finally the Angels have said we need to back off just a little bit. Unfortunately for the Astros, he will not make his next start against the Texas Rangers this week.
Good changeup that he swung over the top. But it's understandable at this point in the season, skipping that start. It's just unfortunate he's not able to face the Rangers for our benefit.
Right. And the Angels head to Arlington after this game. They'll play the Rangers beginning tomorrow in a 3-game series. We mentioned the good news, the Astros winning 9 out of 12. The less than great news with that stretch of games is they've actually lost ground to both the Rangers and the Mariners. Rangers have won 10 out of 11. The Mariners have won 10 out of 12. While the Astros are 9-3 in that stretch. In any other division, they would have been picking up ground on every other team, but the AL West has had 3 teams rolling right now.
Yeah, it's amazing you can play that well and just say you're treading water. It's unreal.
Yeah, losing ground at 9-3, crazy.
The Astros hope to get that situated as the ball towards the middle of the diamond. How about Dubon? Yes, he did! Knocked it down, found it, and retired Otani. Never thought he had a shot at that play.
That was a late dive by Mauricio, getting the start at second base, playing well to that right side. Took a really good angle, started on the dirt, dove back onto the grass to knock it down, and kept it close enough to be able to grab it and make that throw. And credit John Singleton, too, for adjusting the footwork on the bag and reaching out there with that right hand to catch that ball. Great play.
Off the bat, that looked like it was definitely heading into right center. Now Brandon Drury swings through the first pitch. It's 0-1. Drury has a 4-game hitting streak going, 6 for 16 during that stretch. Otani was getting down the line at 29.7 feet per second, so that makes the Dubon play even more impressive.
And he hit the ball at 107.5. I mean, whatever.
It was incredible that he knocked it down with his glove and then found it as quickly as he did.
Yeah, it was just reactionary right there. It was beautiful. But in the immortal words of an old manager of mine, Gomer Hodge, take a right.
What?
Take a right, because you may be out.
Right.
You're only taking lefts if you're safe.
I got you.
So if you take a right, you're out.
Nice. 0-2 the count to Drury. That one towards the line in third and foul. We can kind of start to make a case for Mauricio Dubon as a potential utility Gold Glove winner.
That's what I'm talking about. Give those utility guys the credit they're due. Dubon is definitely one of those guys. Seen him make a couple of great diving plays out in left field. Seen him at shortstop, second base, center field. I'm down for that.
It was a new category started last year. Dubon has done the best work defensively at second base of all his positions, but he has been very good wherever he's played. On 2 pitch, Drury holds up. It's 2-2. When that start against the Yankees, Urquidy allowed 3 walks in 3 1/3 innings. He did have back-to-back walks of 4 pitches, which you hardly ever see from José Urquidy. Two pitches fouled out of play. Angels losing the first 2 games of the series, now 2 games under 500. That guy's ready to hit.
Shocker. The way he's been going. As far as he hasn't gotten a hit yet.
Urquidy strikes out Drury to end the inning. Starts and finishes the inning with a strikeout. Nice beginning for José Urquidy.
Create amazing work with Fiverr. All you need is your team and a talented freelancer who will lend a hand and seamlessly join your team from just about anywhere. Expand your team with a Fiverr freelancer.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy.
What?
And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too!
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
They said optical shops weren't very inviting. So we, Warby Parker, created ones that were. They said prescription eyewear was too expensive, so we offered more affordable glasses, contacts, and eye exams. They said opticians weren't always friendly. So we hired only the friendliest and the most knowledgeable. And finally, they said the whole experience was just kind of unpleasant. So we set out to change that too. Visit a Warby Parker store and see for yourself.
Things off for the Astros. He'll DH, followed by Alex Bregman and Yordan Alvarez. Kyle Tucker hits cleanup. Chaz McCormick in center. John Singleton, the big game in Friday night's contest. Mauricio Dubon, Greg Kessinger, and Martin Maldonado round out Dusty Baker's lineup.
They're going to be facing Chase Silseth. 12 games this season. This will be his 5th start. 3.72 is his ERA. Last 3 starts have been very good for him. In fact, the last time out, set a career high in strikeouts in a game with 12 against the Seattle Mariners, throwing 100 pitches on the nose and going 7 innings of 2-run baseball.
The Astros facing Silseth for the first time as a starter. Came out of the bullpen to face them earlier this year. How about Altuve right now? He has had some good runs in his career. This is one of the all-timers. 13 of 15 plate appearances, he has reached base.
Is that good?
He is 9 for 11 with 3 walks and a hit by pitch. His last 15 plate appearances, and he thinks about bunting his way on and takes a strike. It's 0-2. José facing the 23-year-old right-hander for the 3rd time in his career. Has a walk and a strikeout and takes that one off the plate for a ball, 1-2. Silseth made 7 starts last year in his rookie season. Now working back into the rotation for the Angels. Altuve starts the day with 1,993 hits. It looked like for the longest time that he would be on pace to get to 2,000 during the next homestand against Seattle and Boston, but he has kind of expedited this process with an incredible run lately. He's got a 14-game hitting streak going, and he's also drawing walks during that hitting streak.
No, he's done everything. And that's how you reach base, 13 out of 15. Get those knocks, take the base hits. He's not normally a walk guy.
No, and that's the thing. And a lot of times when he has these hitting streaks, he's not adding the walks, but this time he's doing both. 537 on base during the hitting streak. The 2 times he's been retired during these 15 plate appearances, he's lined out. That one way up there, giving it a look is Moustakas, and he'll run out of room.
The timing has been on point for Altuve since coming back. And remember, was he out 3 weeks and didn't have a rehab stint? Overrated.
Grounded out 3 times his first game back, and ever since then he has been on that 14-game hitting streak with 26 hits in those 14 games. And he keeps battling Silseth here. It stays 2-2. Altuve getting a chance to DH today.
What does he do with the extra couple of buckets of energy? That's what I'm curious about. He's just spoiling pitch after pitch now against Silseth to start this game, too.
Yeah, Silseth has thrown 9 pitches already in the first batter. Altuve hasn't DH'd yet this year. This is his first DH day this season. Tenth pitch coming. And he finally got him. Well, it takes 10 pitches to get Altuve lately as hot as he is, and he gets Altuve for the first out.
Well, he finally got him on that split. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud is going to show you the pitch arsenal for Silseth. On the left-hand side, left-handed hitters are going to get that four-seamer and split. That's that pitch you just saw him strike out Altuve with. The split and the slider have been 2 of his best pitches. You can see right-handers only hitting 154 against that slider.
Starts off Alex Bregman with a strike. Bregman, part of that 11-run outburst yesterday, had a 2-for-4 game with a couple of RBIs in his final at bat. Bregman now with 5 runs batted in his last 5 games. Up to 75 on the year. The Astros still have 44 games remaining. Bregman on pace for over 100 RBIs on the season. This one fouled back. It's 1-2. Towards the foul line and right, long run, and running into the netting after he couldn't make the play is Mike Moustakas. Tough play.
It's a long way to go, too.
Long way to go. A ball did not have a ton of hang time. Day game after night game workout there to start your day. And Bregman chops one off himself at the plate, stays 1-2. Astros with 11 runs on Friday, 11 more runs last night. Back-to-back 11-3 wins. They have not had 11 runs or more in back-to-back games since August of 2021. And Bregman sends one into left, but it's playable. Randall Grichuk comes on and makes the catch for out number 2. One of the crazier parts of the Astros scoring 22 runs in this series is that the guy at the plate now hasn't really been a big part of it. Jordan, as you see, just 1 for 8 in the series. But the rest of the guys around him have been getting the job done. It's just a matter of time before Jordan gets that swing rolling again.
Yeah, he'll show up when he's needed. Fortunately, hasn't been needed in these last couple of games.
I love that after Friday's game when the Astros scored 11 and John Singleton was one of the big heroes, that both Jordan and Tucker came up to Julie after the game looking for a post-game interview.
Pretty good sense of humor about things.
They went combined 0 for 8. Here's a foul ball back as 1-2.
I mean, most days, yeah. It's not that one.
I figured through a 162 game schedule, you might have a handful of those games, maybe.
Well, Silseth off to a good start today, striking out Altuve and Alvarez in this first inning, and a 1-2-3 inning for both starters.
Sure, you'll teach her to drive a car. Then use Greenlight and teach her to save up for her own car. Mowing lawns and getting paid. Navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
When the details take precedence, the rest falls perfectly into place. We strip away everything but the essential. And what we're left with are thoughtful bedrooms for modern living. Thuma.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
For you, make sure you're following ATT Sports SW to find it. Which Astros star is your team player of the week? Is it Jose Altuve or is it Kyle Tucker? Both good options. We want to know what you think, and we will have those results for you coming up a little bit later in the broadcast. Jose Urquidy back to work here after a good first inning. José, pretty happy after that last start. It was his first start off the IL. Did miss a little bit. We usually see this guy throw a lot of strikes. He walked a couple, but was still overall happy, of course, being healthy. But said those misses, I wasn't missing by much. He was just trying to get back into the rhythm of things. He said after a couple of days he would feel much better coming back out for the second start. So here he is after a good start. Now I'm going to toss it up to the booth because there's a special guest up there, TK.
There is, Julie. We had Brownie on along with Billy Wagner on Friday night's game, and now we have Billy Doran. How you doing, Bill?
I'm good, Todd. Thank you.
Great
good
to see you. How you doing?
Jeff, good to see you.
As well.
Congratulations. What an honor, right?
It's been a wonderful weekend.
Yeah.
You know, Dusty Lorient has really put on a show for the family, and it's really been wonderful to be back.
All right, how great was it to get down or just be here this weekend and see all the ex-teammates, all the ex-Astros, and start telling stories again, catching up? How was that?
You know what? You can't put it into words. You know, it's the first time I've seen a lot of these guys in quite some time, and it's amazing how you can like pick up where you left off, even though you haven't seen each other for quite a while. And so my grandkids are here, and my kids, and Terry Poole's.
Okay.
You know, kids are here, and his grandkids as well. And so last night, you know, years ago in the Astrodome, we had a kids room where the families could drop the kids off. They played, and it was so they got together. You know, they haven't seen each other since
catching up as well.
They were catching up just like we were. You know, it was amazing.
And hadn't seen each other since they were little.
They hadn't seen each other. They're in their 40s and mid 30s now.
Wow.
And last time they saw each other was when they were 5 and 8 and 9, and it was amazing how they picked right up.
Hunter Renfroe bats here after Mike Moustakas flied out to Kyle Tucker. 1 out and an 0-1 count on Renfroe. So, Bill, when you were playing, obviously you were a guy that did a lot of things well on the field. You did a little bit of everything to help your team win. Did you ever imagine that as you continued on in your career, something like this could happen? And what was your reaction when you actually did get the call that you were going?
It was just total silence. You know, Gene called and left a message. I called him back, and he was telling me, and I just sat in silence, and then, you know, ended up apologizing to him, you know, a few minutes later, going, "I'm sorry, I just don't know what to say," you know. But it was certain. I was flattered. I was shocked, and, you know, a few things all rolled into one. But yeah, definitely surprised.
Well, we're going to show some video of you in your playing days. And one of the things that kind of jumped out to me, and a lot of people who watch you a little more regularly than I did, is how you threw your body around. You played the game extremely hard. What was the inspiration behind you playing as hard as you did during your career?
That's how I grew up. You know, it was just, you know, I was a football player in high school.
There you go. And stuff like that.
And a lot of it, you know, I was telling somebody I was always in survival mode. You know, this was never easy. You know, and you played. You know how
that's a good way of looking at it too.
It's just not easy, and I, you know, when I got here, that was how all those guys played. You know, I was trying to keep up with the Phil Garners and the Jose Cruz, and you know, those guys set a bar that, you know, that I felt like I needed to keep up with, and so that it was a lot of it just had to do with my upbringing.
You're an Ohio guy, went to Miami University, you came down here, you made this kind of your second home. What was it like coming back here, seeing the crowd's response and seeing all your guys?
Oh, like I said, it's been a wonderful weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it was a wonderful ride the entire time I was here. And, you know, the people here in Houston are so special. You know, they've always had a soft spot in my heart. And, you know, they come back and just look at it. And I'm so thrilled for Dusty and the team that you guys have. And it's got to be great for you guys to be covering, you know, such a talented group. And guys, they look like they're kicking it in gear at the right time. And, you know, I hope it all works out for you guys.
You had a chance to catch up with Dusty last night.
I did. I got a chance to say hello. You know, Dusty and I worked together. And when Dusty was managing Cincinnati, I was a field coordinator over there in the minor leagues. And then got a chance to spend some time with him. And I'm a huge fan, you know, not only from what he does how he does his manager job and everything. But it was how he treated people. It was, you know, he's second to none, and he really deserves every little thing that he gets. You could tell by last year when everyone was so happy for him when let's win this for Dusty, and he certainly deserved it. And it's not because of his baseball knowledge so much. I mean, he is a great baseball man, but it's how he treats people is second to none.
We can attest to that, having the opportunity to talk to Dusty quite a bit throughout the course of the season. And yes, this team has made our job that much easier than it already is and made it a lot of fun. But at the same time, what was your relationship like with Bill Brown? Because you told a great story about his relationship with you in one of the first interviews you guys had. You actually high-fived him after it.
Well, you know what? If you don't like Bill Brown, you got some real issues.
That's the truth.
I can tell you that. But they were.
We'll have to save that story till next half. You can hang with us.
Yes.
Bill Doran will talk about Billy Brown when we come back. Astros and Angels scoreless.
This is Chris Bryant. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Chris Bryant plays hard so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
I'ma do work, that's on me. But I'll keep it on you. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do work, that's on me. But I'll keep it on you. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Didn't want that shit, but that's on me. Built the house, I got the keys. They say you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
It's like that. Got him, it stays fair. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we bring it to you. It's like that.
Inductees, Bill Doran, Bill Brown, the Summer of Bills as we celebrate here this weekend at Minute Maid Park. Bill Doran joining us in the booth. You were starting a story about Brownie when we got that final out of the last inning.
Yeah, I was saying that if you don't like Bill Brown, you really have some issues. I mean, what a wonderful man, and and a talent that, as a player, you don't have any idea what's going on up here. You really don't. But man, once you sit up here every now and then and you listen to what you guys do and how you do it, you have a whole different perspective of how good you guys are at all your homework and everything that you guys do up here to put on the show for the fans is really beyond words. And it's and if the players got up here every now and then and noticed that, you've been on both sides. So
I was going to say, you can pass that along to those guys if you want.
You get it, and they would. I don't know how you do it, and thank goodness that your team is so good that it's got to make it more fun for you anyway.
Yeah.
But the homework that you guys do and all your knowledge and how you piece it all together. And I remember, just Bill sitting and talking to him. He was like a baseball encyclopedia.
Exactly, yeah.
And he was so soft and pleasant about it.
Tucker sends one to center, played there by Mickey Moniak. So catch us up. I know a lot of people know what you've been up to, but since your playing days, as we look at your numbers as a player, you stayed involved in the game of baseball, and you were in the Reds organization.
Yes, I started, by 1995, 96, and one thing led to another, and I got more involved as time went on, the people kept bringing me back. You know, I missed the baseball people. It was
base hit to right. Go ahead.
It was just something that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed working with the players, and like I said, the people that are involved in the game. I had a chance to do it, and why would I do anything else? You know, because there's good people everywhere. You know, and you know, I'm working in Cincinnati, and many of the guys that I worked with in Cincinnati, I was rivals with as a player. And it took a little while to, you know, like Mario Soto.
It's got to be tough to set that aside.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, at Mario Soto and I, you know, used to go at it, and then all of a sudden we're working together. It took us a few weeks to learn how to say hello to each other. But you know, there are good people everywhere in this game, and you know, and many of them are here.
Well, you've got to be pretty proud of the product in Cincinnati right now, putting in all the hard work, and now they're producing.
Well, our scouting department has done a real good job. You know, everything is cyclical. You know, it all goes in cycles, and you know, when you're competing and you go for it and you trade a few prospects here and there to try to win at the big league level, it takes a little time to build that back up. And you know, and our scouting department has really done a good job, and you know, I think our player development people do a good job as well. But there's some really good players in Cincinnati right now that are young, and there's something to look forward to for them.
Bill Doran joins us in the booth, Astros Hall of Famer, now still working with the Cincinnati Reds. We talked about what your emotions were like when you first heard the news. How about take us through last night as you're walking out on the orange carpet and you're looking at Jeff Bagwell and Craig Biggio and Lance Berkman and Billy Wagner. What are you thinking about as you're walking out there to join that illustrious group?
That's quite a group to be with. Obviously, you know, this is not a team that I ever thought I would be on. You know, I've done enough where I thought, you know, okay, I belong here. Last night, I wouldn't. I'm still a little bit taken back by it all. You know?
Isn't it amazing? You talked about playing in survival mode, the grind of a 162 game schedule. How long until after your career did you actually sit back and go, man, I had a good career? And I mean, you obviously got recognized for it, but it's hard to really absorb what you're doing while you're playing.
Yeah, it is, and you know, because you're looking forward to tomorrow. You know, if you have a bad day today, you want to correct it tomorrow. If you have a good day today, you want to keep it going tomorrow. So once you know, you're in that mode for so long that you know, you really don't get out of it. But you know, I don't know. You know, I just felt fortunate the whole time.
Yeah,
Bill,
you could tell.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
so great to talk to you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, great to watch you. Great to be up here with you. Appreciate it.
Astros Hall of Famer Bill Doran still scoreless after 2.
Sunday, on the next episode of MLB's Carded, join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network. Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
together and coming to Houston on Sunday, August 27th. Don't miss out on your chance to see the group at Minute Maid Park when they visit on their Soy Rebelde tour. To get your tickets, visit astros.com/RBD. Good stuff with Bill Doran up there, guys.
Billy D.
Yeah, that was outstanding. What I love is some of these guys that we've had for Astros Hall of Fame weekend. They're great ball players. Played with an edge, played hard. You get them up here and start talking about their careers, they almost lock up because they're so humbled by the situation and being honored by the team. So that was a lot of fun to finally meet him and hang out with him for a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. And the first thing he said to you was, "Hey, I remember we were AL Central foes. He was working for Kansas City when you were a White Sox player." And he stayed in the game, and you love to see that. A guy who played the game the right way and continued to help out in the game of baseball. So neither one of us had met him before this weekend. It's great to get to know Billy D a little bit better as Randall Grichuk on his birthday breaks his bat. That's not the way he expected that first birthday at bat to go. It's a ground out to short, and there's one away as Gray Kessinger makes the play. But congrats to Bill Brown and Bill Doran, who will forever be immortalized in the Astros Hall of Fame with their induction last night. That'll bring up Eduardo Escobar. So far, so good for José Urquidy. He has 4 strikeouts, a ground out in the first inning, a ground out to start this inning, and a fly out to start the last inning. So he has faced 7 and retired 7 as he faces Eduardo Escobar here and drops the ball from Martin Maldonado. First mistake of the game for Urquidy.
Take the handcuffs off, man. Sometimes you get that tough pitch back with some late movement. Flank it.
And we did have a couple of transactions since we were last with you. Last night was a Fox National broadcast, so we have not had a chance to tell you about this on AT&T Sportsnet, but both Jose Abreu and Phil Maton had to go on the injured list after the game on Friday. Maton was hit with a line drive. Fortunately, no major damage, a contusion, so they're just being cautious with Phil Maton, and then Abreu's been dealing with a back issue, and he goes on the IL. This is a tough spot. Who's going to get there? I'm not sure anybody will. That was just a reach out and punch one into left ball off the bat of Eduardo Escobar, and he's going to end up with a double. As soon as that ball went up in the air, it was kind of in no man's land, and Escobar has a double.
He hit it out there in the Bermuda Triangle. Shortstop, third baseman, and left fielder, no chance to get to this. Just kind of lofted out there softly. Good pitch. You can see how Escobar was off balance, just trying to fight off that pitch, but ended up hitting that changeup the same way it came in, softly.
So the first base runner for the Angels is that little flared double, and here's Chad Wallach. Wallach goes after that first pitch and misses. It's 0-1. Wallach has faced Urquidy 3 times. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts against Jose. As he fouls that one straight back and is down to the count 0-2. Astros playing the Angels for the final time of 2023. Astros winning the season series already with 9 wins in 12 games against the Angels. They're looking for a sweep today, and then they're hoping that the Angels play well when they head to Arlington against the Rangers. Rangers wrapping up their road trip in the Bay Area. They've been out there a week. They went 2-1 against Oakland. They're 2-0 against the Giants, playing later on this afternoon. Oh, ground ball foul, stays 0-2. Jose Urquidy last year faced the Angels 4 times, went 3-1 against them in those 4 starts. Misses just wide, 1-2.
you notice anything a little bit different between the last two starts for José Urquidy? How about the pace?
A little more time in between.
Yeah, he's taken a little bit longer in between pitches, and it's working out to his benefit. I think last time out might have felt rushed a little bit, and granted the emotion may have taken over things, getting back from the injured list as we see this last pitch on our MD Anderson strike zone, right at the top portion of it for the swing and miss. So another strikeout for José Urquidy. But he felt kind of rushed, got fatigued, started to miss the zone like we talked about. Only lasting 3 1/3, throwing 62 pitches, but he seems much more deliberate about using most of the clock before he throws a pitch.
Maldonado was down to 2 seconds on the pitch clock, speaking of the pitch timer, and then called timeout. He wanted to make sure Urquidy was on the same page with what he wanted to throw to Mickey Moniak. Time for a word from Champion Energy.
You know what our favorite day of the week is?
Yesterday.
Urquidy facing the leadoff hitter Moniak with a runner on second and 2 outs. One thing I've noticed with Urquidy since the pitch timer has been instituted is he really manipulates that. If he gets a time called by a hitter, he'll make a hitter stand there in the batter's box in that set position and kind of mess with their timing a little bit. But he is one guy you weren't worried about with a pitch timer coming into this season.
Not at all. That's the thing, is he gets the information from Maldonado, grabs the pitch and digs in. He's ready to go, so he can use as much or as little of that clock as he needs.
That ball hit hard, and it's going to score the first run of the game as Moniak will have extra bases. That one off the wall. The throw comes into second, and Moniak safely in with a double. It's 1-0 Angels. So a little bloop double, and that one a hard hit double, gives the Angels a lead.
A couple of Angels trading places right there as Moniak takes that fastball up out of the zone and pulls it off that right field wall for that double to drive in Escobar.
Here's Shohei Otani. Otani with a foul tip. Otani retired on a great play by Mauricio Dubon his first time up. Nice pick by Maldi on a pitch in the dirt. It's 1-1. Angels on the board first today. They were on the board first in Friday's game before the Astros came back to score 5 unanswered runs. Eventually won that game 11-3. 2-1 the count on Otani.
Good pitch. Challenged him inside and got Otani to spin off it. Right where Maldonado wanted it. Now you got a couple of options. You can stay in tight. You can throw that change up.
He got him. There was that changeup. Otani goes down on a foul tip to end the inning, but a couple of doubles have the Angels in front 1-0.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight. Late nights on MLB Network.
I'ma do what? That's on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Astros.com. Ryan Presley honored before this game. We talked about it on the last road trip. Honored by his teammates for reaching 10 years. He's joined by his wife, Kat, out on the field, taking a picture to commemorate reaching 10 years of service time. That is a huge milestone in the career of a Major League Baseball player. It seems like the deeper we get into the legacy of baseball, the less you see those guys reaching that plateau. So congratulations to Ryan Presley on serving 10 years in major leagues.
Yeah, well-deserved recognition here before the game.
I'm glad they're making a big deal out of it.
Me too.
It was one of those things that was more honored inside the clubhouse amongst your peers, but now it's getting out a little bit, and I like it.
Yeah, it's not a lot of guys that get to that mark, so congratulations to Ryan Presley. As Greg Kessinger leads off the bottom half of the third inning. Kessinger playing shortstop today, giving Jeremy Pena the day off. Astros will head down to Miami for a 3-game series after today. A little foul ball at the plate. It's 2-1. Gray struck out a couple of times in his 2 at-bats on Friday, coming in during that blowout win for the Astros. There's Pena getting a little day off. Jeremy had 3 hits and a walk in the game on Friday and had a hit and a walk in last night's game. Breaking ball for a strike. It's 2-2.
Yeah, it sounds like Dusty wants him rested and ready for Miami.
We'll see Yuli Gurriel tomorrow. And the Miami Marlins are currently playing the Yankees at home today. The Astros will avoid seeing Sandy Alcantara and also Yuri Perez, who is pitching today. That's 2 of their best starters.
It sounds terrible, but you know, selfishly, I wanted to watch those 2 guys pitch in person because I've watched them from afar pitch so well. But at the same time, you got to worry about matchups this time of year, and if you can avoid some of those aces or some of those better pitchers, why not?
Hit hard. That's a fair ball into the corner past Eduardo Escobar. Greg Kessinger has his 2nd double of the season as he makes the turn and holds on. A leadoff double for Kessinger in the 3rd.
Good piece of hitting too. Got beat on this pitch earlier in the at-bat, but you could see him kind of hesitate as that curveball came, or that slider came rolling in. Really had to keep the hands back and did just enough to get it past Escobar and keep it fair for that double. Good swing by Gray. That's got to feel good. Taking a jog around the bases.
Well, Martin Maldonado will bat. Maldi had the day off yesterday. Maldi had a 3-hit game in Friday's contest. He's around to bunt. Bunts it foul down the first base side. Now it's still almost came back. Maldi has all but one of the Astros sacrifices this year. He has been successful 8 times. The Astros have 9 total sacrifice bunts on the year. Angels weren't really looking for it on that first pitch, but Moustakas a little closer now at first base than he was on the first delivery.
Maldi's been swinging it of late. Angels probably just assume that they'd try and continue to ride that hot hand, but Maldi sacrificing himself.
Now he's down to the count 0-2. Maldi in his last 6 games hitting .350, 7 for 20. Stays alive on the fastballs, 0-2. Silseth started his collegiate career at Tennessee. He was in the Volunteers bullpen his freshman year and then transferred to the College of Southern Nevada, where he got a chance to be a starter. And then eventually ended up at Arizona his final year. That one's fouled the plate. Maldonado, after a couple of unsuccessful sacrifice bunt attempts, hang in there. It's still 1-2. Already trying to tee it up for Jose Altuve, the hottest Astro, who's on deck. Maldonado goes down on strikes. That's strikeout number 3 for Chase Silseth. And 1 out here in the third. League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. How hot has Jose Altuve been? Hotter than anybody in the major leagues in terms of average on base percentage, runs scored, second to Ozzie Albies in hits since August 6th. Altuve on base at an incredible 645 clip since that date. During his 14-game hitting streak, his on-base percentage has been .537. Altuve listening into the conversation between Chad Wallach and Lance Barrett as a late time was called there. First pitch is a breaking ball that drops in for a strike, 0-1.
I feel like a hitter, you just ignore those. It's a slider that comes back up and in, catches a part of the zone. You just kind of toss that one away and say, okay, the count's 0-1. Let's go on attack and get a better pitch. And there it is.
To left, and a diving catch made by Grichuk. Hustling back is Kessinger, and he is safe. That was a great play by Grichuk and a great throw. Almost doubled up Kessinger. They're checking to see if they want to challenge here on that close play at second.
Yeah, I would say check that. That's Ray Montgomery. He's saying thumbs down, so you don't have to check it. But that was a heck of a play on a sinking line drive by Grichuk. Diving straight in, popped up and threw a dart to second base, trying to double off Kessinger. And Hand getting on just before the short hop.
So now Alex Bregman will bat. And Bregman pops one high in the air to right field. Easy play for Hunter Renfroe. A leadoff double is going to be stranded for the Astros in the third. Still 1-0 Angels.
I'ma do what? That's on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with Harold and Adnan on MLB Tonight's First Pitch.
Who's ready for baseball? It's time for the first pitch. We're about 25 minutes from game time. I'm so excited.
Our quick hitters right out of the gate. During the games, we take you to the games where you might see a lot.
Greg, we have a potential walk-off at Wrigley.
No way. What's going on?
Oh, they've got a runner at third and Nico Horner's up.
Here's a pitch.
Base hit. Nico rocks it out. Cubs win. Cubs win.
And after the games, we're all about instant highlights and player reactions.
Nico, congratulations. Your first career walk-off hit. How did that one feel?
Oh, man, it's as good as it gets. An amazing crowd here tonight. Wrigley Field is a very special place. We're feeling good right now, for sure.
And that's how this team covers every team. All in a night's work on MLB Tonight.
Championships. How about another one for the Astros Nike RBI softball team? They beat DC Elite in the championship game yesterday at the Nike RBI World Series. So this team, they've won 4 in the last 5 years. That's dominance. And we just saw the Astros Nike RBI Senior Boys win their title last weekend. A lot of winning, DK.
Getting it done in Vero Beach, Florida the last 2 weekends.
It's amazing how well they've played and developed both the baseball players and the softball players that go out there. But that softball program has been dominating that RBI program.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. That's a dynasty.
Yeah.
That is a dynasty. The other cities are like, really? Here they go again.
Yeah, they showed up again. Great. We'll take our second-place trophy. Why even play?
2-0 the final of the championship game. So congrats to the ladies who joined the men's senior division and winning championships down in Vero Beach. And congrats to Daryl Wade, the director of the Youth Academy, Dwayne Stelly, the manager of the Youth Academy, Hugo Mojica, Andrew McMullen, Megan Hayes, all working with the Youth Academy. Well done as they develop baseball and softball players, but also develop young
people,
adults.
Yes, I completely agree on that. Yeah, there's a lot of developing going on at that facility, both, like you said, as the player and as the person. So a lot of credit to the staff over there for working so hard. I just hope that they show up next homestand and have one of their get-togethers out there in that Club 42 or whatever they have right here on the club level. Steal some food and talk to some kids about championships.
Yeah, you've done that in the past.
Yeah, it's been outstanding. I've loved every minute of it.
So congrats. The Astros Youth Academy does a great job, as we said, developing people, but they also win championships, which doesn't hurt either. So ground ball to Bregman to start the inning. Here's Mike Moustakas, who flied out to right his first time up. A little bit of bad luck for José Urquidy last inning. A little flare double eventually scored, as Eduardo Escobar just punched one down the line and left and would score on a well-hit ball by Moniak, but one of the few well-hit balls of the day against José Urquidy, who's only allowed 2 hits so far.
Did you happen to check your social media after Bill Doran was up here?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
What do we have?
Let me just give you an idea. There's a certain demographic that really appreciated Bill Doran being put into the Hall of Fame and reminiscing about Bill Doran in uniform. My goodness.
Really?
Oh, my.
Is it Jake Marisnik-esque?
Very, very. Our stage manager had to step out.
What? Mike Moustakas breaks his bat, and Mauricio Dubon makes the play for out number 2.
Yeah, he's still got it. Bring your four-legged pups to next Sunday's Dog Day, presented by Tito's Handmade Vodka. 500 fans that bring their dog will receive a special Dog Day calendar featuring Astros players with their furry friends. Get your Dog Day tickets now at astros.com/dogday.
A little bit of sweat on that, Reed?
Yeah, it was tough.
2 outs, nobody on. Hunter Renfroe, the batter. Now I got to go on social and see what you're talking about. Fans love them some Billy Doran, huh?
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
A lot of he was my first crush comments.
Yeah, right. So the Jake Marisnik-esque. A little pop-up. I think it's going to stay in play. It will. John Singleton in foul territory. Good inning for José Urquidy. 1, 2, 3, 4th. Getting the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in order.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with Harold and Adnan on MLB Tonight's First Pitch.
Who's ready for baseball? It's time for the first pitch. We're about 25 minutes from game time. I'm so excited.
Our quick hitters right out of the gate. During the games, we take you to the games where you might see a lot.
Greg, we have a potential walk-off at Wrigley.
No way. What's going on?
Oh, they've got a runner at third, and Nico Horner's up.
Here's a pitch.
Base hit. Nico rocks it up. Cubs win.
Cubs win. And after the games, we're all about instant highlights and player reactions.
Nico, congratulations. Your first career walk-off hit. How did that one feel?
Oh, man, it's as good as it gets. And an amazing crowd here tonight. Wrigley Field is a very special place. We're feeling good right now, for sure.
And that's how this team covers every team. All in a night's work on MLB Tonight.
Astros batting bottom half of the fourth inning, trailing 1-0. Took them a little while last night to get rolling. Tyler Anderson had shut out the Astros through 3 innings last night, facing the minimum. And the Astros piled on 4 runs in the fourth and 3 runs in the fifth against Anderson en route to an 11-3 victory. Today they try and solve Chase Silseth in his 4th inning of work. He's allowed 2 hits so far. Yordan Alvarez leads off and takes that breaking ball for a strike. That is now 11 out of 12 first pitch strikes for Silseth. Yordan struck out his first time up. As he's down to the count here, 0-2. That almost hit his manager, and Yordan looking on concerned. Oh, he actually smiled. That just missed big.
I don't know if that was concern.
Just missed big.
Everybody's trying to figure out how it got in there.
Almost clipped that toothpick out of his mouth. That one's down for a ball, 1-2. It'll be Yordan, Kyle Tucker, and Chas McCormick here, second time around against Silseth. Yordan just stays alive, may have caught his ankle area, stays 1-2.
I just feel like Yordan's just a little antsy, a little off balance at the plate. But again, things can change quickly when you have a swing like Yordan's and the power. What I mean by antsy is seeing him chase a little bit. Some of those splits down out of the zone from Silseth. But that's one of the pitches that's made Chase very good here in the last couple of starts, has been that split and that slider. The fastball can get hit.
That ball's hit hard, but Moustakas is there to glove it. Yordan deserved to hit with that line drive, but he hit it at the first baseman.
Yeah, then baseball happens. Get out and play is driven by Toyota. The hottest hitters in the league coming to the plate. Kyle Tucker, so the weekend review, 6 games, 3 Rockets out of the stadium, and 11 RBIs. That was a big one in Baltimore to steal that win from the Baltimore Orioles when he hit a go-ahead grand slam, or as TK likes to call it, the ultimate home run. But he's had himself a good week, trying to continue with that. I've actually seen a lot of questions on social media about the batting gloves. Will they ever go away if he continues to swing like this?
I don't see how the gloves could ever go away anymore. I think it's a permanent change for Tuck.
Might be one of the best adjustments made across baseball this season.
Guy who was barehanded at the plate for years and would only occasionally throw in the batting gloves is pretty much sticking with him from here on out. All outfielders leads in weighted runs created plus. And he hooks one down the line and right, and that is going to be another extra base hit. Hits the foul pole. That'll be an automatic double for Tucker. And the Astros have their second double in as many innings. Stay hot, Tuck.
You always appreciate when you give the player their accolades and they go up there and tear into a pitch and get a knock. What's interesting is that slider's been so good to some of the right-handed hitters. This one actually comes back to that left-handed hitter and up. He might be fortunate that Tucker didn't take this out of the yard. Instead, just a line drive that hopped up off that foul pole for the auto dub.
Now Chas McCormick, who has a single to right field his first time up, bats against Silseth here. Chas takes one for a strike, 0-1. Chas with that hit now, 4-game hitting streak. Had the day off on Friday, was back in there yesterday. Playing center field today. Chas goes the other way and hits it foul. It's 0-2. 42 strikes out of 57 pitches for Silseth as Chas and Tuck, since June 1, continue to be the best in the American League in the outfield. Plays off that slider. It's 1-2. A little bit down. Silseth, last 3 starts, has been really good against the Yankees. 1 run in 5 2/3 innings back on July 19th. Against the Braves on the road, 1 run in 5 innings against the best team in baseball record-wise. And then 2 runs over 7 innings against the Mariners, striking out a dozen his last start. And he strikes out McCormick here. Silseth now with 4 strikeouts today. That's the second out of the inning.
Splitter's nasty. The pitch before this, Tucker actually laid off one at the bottom of the zone, but this one had a much more tumble to it. Tough to lay off.
So now John Singleton bats. Singleton, the hero of the game Friday. Misses his back foot on a pitch down and in. It's 1-0. Singleton had 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats against Reed Detmers. John's actually had better numbers in his career facing lefties than he has righties. This year against righties, just 3 for 34. He takes one down, 2-0. Singleton with a historic day on Friday, hitting those 2 home runs. He didn't hit one for 8 years and 13 days at the big league level. Then he hit one in back-to-back innings. Also drew a walk, had a base hit in that game. Now Chad Wallach wants to talk with Chase Silseth here with a 2-0 count. Now a word from Taquerias Arandas.
Giving the best service. Marinated fajita, 5 taquitos, California burrito, Taquerias Arandas.
I don't think they still agree on what pitch to throw here.
No, he keeps coming back and forth. They're really having a conversation out there trying to figure out how to go after John Singleton. There is a base open. Dubon's hitting behind. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But at the same time, continuing to talk about John Singleton, how about the fact that Abreu goes on the shelf? And now Singleton's going to get plenty of opportunities over there at first base to show that swing.
He's had 4 straight starts for the Astros at first base. And the ultimate choice was go with the slider 2-0, and now it's 3-0 to Singleton. I think we might see Yainer Diaz get a start or 2 over there at first. He started earlier this year at first base.
Not a bad idea.
But so far it's been only John Singleton in place of Jose Abreu. Now a 3-0 count. And that's ball 4.
Wanted no part of him.
A little pitch around. This guy that doesn't walk a whole lot, just 3 walks in his last 3 starts as he walks Singleton here. So first and second with 2 outs, and Mauricio Dubon will try to make the Angels pay and put the Astros on the board. Dubon grounded out his first time up.
Yeah, good base runner at second base. If he's able to find some open space, the Astros will be on the board to tie this thing up.
That one well off the plate. Catches the outside edge. Wasn't where they wanted the pitch, but still got the plate. It's 1-1. Mauricio has driven in 28 this year. Grounds this one to short, and that'll be an easy play for Rengifo to get Singleton to retire the Astros in the 4th. 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 left on. Still 1-0 Angels.
I was pretty much going to be bald by the time I was 30.
Took a mirror to the back. I was like, oh, wow, my hair is thinning.
My confidence was gone until I started using Hims. I went to the Hims website.
I asked a few medical history questions. I could do it from anywhere. My prescription shipped to my door.
I never expected to have this much hair in my 50s.
There's a product out there that actually works.
I feel very confident. Start your free online visit today at forhims.com.
They said optical shops weren't very inviting, So we, Warby Parker, created ones that were. They said prescription eyewear was too expensive, so we offered more affordable glasses, contacts, and eye exams. They said opticians weren't always friendly, so we hired only the friendliest and the most knowledgeable. And finally, they said the whole experience was just kind of unpleasant, so we set out to change that too. Visit a Warby Parker store and see for yourself.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want on the only live TV streaming service rated #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Try free at FuboTV.com.
With the Game Time app, I paid 60% less than this guy. What? And it's not just sports tickets. It's also concerts. Performances, too.
Oh, come on!
Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
I'm Metro. At Metro, safety is our top priority. By Gallery Furniture. And Made in America is important to you. Shop Gallery Furniture today. And by Honda. New vehicles arriving daily. Visit your Greater Houston Honda dealer today. Not a lot of offense so far this afternoon. 1 run on 2 hits for the Angels. No runs on 3 hits for the Astros. We head to the 5th. Luis Rengifo facing José Urquidy. Urquidy allowing a couple of doubles in the 3rd inning, and that's it. José, who's normally very good with his command, no walks so far, and has 6 strikeouts, which ties his season high. Struck out 6 against the Twins back on April the 7th. Rengifo, one of those strikeout victims, as Urquidy starts the inning with 65 pitches, matching his number. José getting ahead 1-2.
Looked very good since that previous start in New York. Kind of looks like the older Urquidy really getting after that strike zone. Confidence in the fastball. The changeup has been working well for him.
Had 3 really good starts against the Angels last year, and 1 not so good one here at Minute Maid Park, his final start of the year against them. But in those 3 really good ones, he went 18 innings total and allowed just 2 runs on 10 hits. The 1 not so good start was 6 runs in 5 innings, allowing 10 hits as he faced the Angels back-to-back starts in September.
Urquidy to this point has 14 swings and misses today too.
How about that?
Yeah. It has been that fastball changeup, but I think some timely use of that curveball and the slider have benefited him too. You can see right here Rengifo chasing some of those sliders down and in before the changeup. There we go for another strikeout.
Season high 7 strikeouts for José Urquidy.
Beautiful pitch. Turns that one over and the bottom drops out of it. It'll be 15 swings and misses now.
Well, here's Randall Grichuk. Grichuk grounded out his first time up. Takes a pitch down for a ball, 1-0. Urquidy might be a little limited in his pitch count. Threw 62 in his last outing against the Yankees. And there is bullpen action going right now, even though Urquidy's in the mid-70s in his pitch count. Parker Mashinsky begins to loosen up.
It's kind of interesting how that pitch count's been used, because that last start before he got called back up on his rehab assignment was 76 pitches.
2 outs in the inning. That's 6 in a row sent down by Urquidy. This week on Astros Bases Loaded, the champs are honored with a visit to the White House. We'll check in on first-round pick Bryce Matthews. And John Singleton talks about his long journey back to the big leagues. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the postgame show. It seemed like he was more stretched out coming out of his rehab assignment, and then ran into those control issues and only went 62 pitches in that outing. And here he is with bullpen action going at pitch number 75. This might be his final inning.
It's interesting. He's gotten a lot of swing and miss, good command of his pitches, hasn't walked anybody, and the exit velocities against him haven't been very high.
Which is kind of standard on the year for Urquidy. Ground ball to first. Easy play for Singleton. José Urquidy has looked very good today. Not sure if he will be out for the 6th. If he is in 5 very good innings of one-run baseball, only allowing 2 hits and no walks.
Home cooks, start your ovens. It's time to get dinner ready faster. With Home Chef's easy prep and no mess options, you're winning dinner when you cook with Home Chef. Get oven-ready meals done in 3, 2, 1. It's time to set the table and go eat. Delicious meets simple. Get 18 free meals at homechef.com.
Grand Canyon University, an affordable private Christian university, ranked top 20 campus in the country, offers over 310 dynamic academic programs informed by industry and student learning outcomes. In addition to federal grants and aid, traditional campus students received nearly $180 million in scholarships in 2022, with many attending for less than the cost of a state university and less debt after graduation. Scholarships are still available. Find your purpose at gcu.edu/myoffer.
Never be afraid of your strength, because your body is capable of amazing things. The one they said you shouldn't have, the one driven by a power they can't see. Own your strength and see how far it takes you. Tono, be your strongest.
Friday when the Astros take on the Seattle Mariners. 10,000 fans will go home with a Jose Altuve 90s throwback replica jersey courtesy of Academy Sports and Outdoors. Get your tickets now at astros.com/promotions. So many good promotions. By the way, you guys ready to play some cornhole?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? Either that or I'm ready to throw these at Todd. I mean, play cornhole.
There's a nice play by Escobar as Kessinger retired for the first out of the 5th inning. We got the opposing colors now. So the one Julia showed on her social media at the beginning of the game only had the blue. Now we have the orange.
Outfield, infield.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
How about that? So we haven't opened these yet, have you?
You guys were so excited earlier.
Hey, leave us
alone. I had to get it on tape.
Yep. We're gonna. These are gonna be on the airplane.
I told the guys I wanted to do an unboxing video like they do on social media. Like, let's unpack this and show off what we got.
And
you guys were great. You did a good job.
Reggie. And who's the last one? JP.
These are legit.
Yeah.
Just don't throw them at each other.
I'm not going to throw it at Todd. Gosh, nice catch, Katie.
Baldy, the hitter. So
I don't mix it up.
We have a cornhole board at home.
I'm surprised. I'm bringing one on the flight.
You are?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're going to play in the aisleway.
All right.
Hope the poker game in the back doesn't mind.
So we're good to go. We got our
very cool.
Yeah. Baldy down in the count 0-2, batting with 1 out and nobody on. Astros trying to figure out Chase Silseth. Said he gained a lot of confidence with that outing against the Braves on the road a couple of starts ago, where he limited that offense to just 1 run. He has looked very good today. Only 3 hits for the Astros, and nobody has reached third base yet. The pitch catches the bottom of the zone. Maldonado doesn't like it. That's strikeout number 5 for Silseth, and 2 outs in the inning.
Altuve doing some great things since he's come back from that injured list. You see on StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, showing 26 hits. 18 of those singles, 3 bombs in the mix, but you can see that spread. That is an Altuve strike zone on the left-hand side. He is indiscriminate. He will go out there and get pitches he wants. He will drive some of them, and he'll go the other way. He'll even request a check swing every once in a while.
Parker Mushinski's still warming up in the Astros pen.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I know that Josh Miller had maybe spoke about possibly seeing Urquidy get to 90 pitches. And with the ease at which he's gotten to this point in the game, makes you wonder if they will extend him at all, or if you do bring in Parker Mushinski, because he may face Chad Wallach and then give way to Mushinski for a couple of lefties at the top of the lineup.
They have 2 at the top, and 3 of the first 4 hitters are lefties. So see how Dusty and Josh play it as Jose Altuve gets that call. And Martin Maldonado saying, how come I didn't get that? It's 2-1. There is Parker, just up with Phil Maton going on the IL yesterday. 2-1 pitches down and away, 3-1. Altuve has struck out and lined out to left. Sitting on 1,993 hits, 7 away from the 2,000 mark. Trying to join the Hall of Famers Bagwell and Biggio in that department. That one's down, ball 4. Altuve draws yet another walk during his 14-game hitting streak. That's now 10 walks to go along with 26 hits. Time now to name that Astro, powered by Reliant. Teenage sensation, notable Hall of Famer, Astros record holder. If you know who that Astro is, go ahead and send your guesses to @ATT Sportsnet SW. I'll have the answer for you later on in the show. So Altuve, a 2-out base runner for Alex Bregman. Matt Wise, the pitching coach, out there to talk to Silseth. Second walk allowed in as many innings for Chase. Angels get their bullpen going for the first time. That's the right-hander Jose Soriano loosening up. Silseth did go 100 pitches in his last outing, but he's generally not a guy that has gone much beyond the mid-80s in pitch count all year. 77 right now. Pitch into Alex. It's 1-0.
Kind of wonder if it's tough to pick up the baseball out of the delivery of Silseth. Kind of flies open a little bit. Might hide the baseball pretty good.
Bregman, a little punch shot that's going to be in for a base hit. The Astros will have 2 on here with 2 outs, and the big man Yordan Alvarez due up.
This is exactly what you want to see with 2 outs. Is Altuve and Bregman getting on base, setting up things for a possible big swing from Yordan Alvarez. One thing I failed to say about Silseth is the fastballs, he uses 2 of them. He's got that 4-seam fastball he'll throw away to right-handed hitters, but he also has that 2-seamer like you just saw right there getting on the hands of Alex.
So here is Yordan. He is struck out and lined out. Much better at bat his second time around. Takes that fastball up, 1-0.
It's a big at bat right here for Silseth.
This could be the difference between him qualifying for a W or possibly the Astros taking the lead. Dropped in that hook. That's that slider.
And again, when it comes as a hitter, you're anticipating, you see where the catcher's set up, and then it reaches the top part of the zone. You just kind of go, well, I wasn't going to go after that anyways. Try and regroup and get a mistake that you can handle.
Upstairs, 2-1. The Astros looking for a 2-out rally here. Silseth just pulled down on the top of his cap, and he was not happy with himself on that last pitch.
And threw a 1-0 slider to Yordan. See if he goes 2-1 slider right here. Maybe get it down in that wheelhouse. It's just a click off.
Yep. That's a pitch he does some damage with a lot of times. Instead, it's 2-2.
About 93, 94. That facial expression tells you he knows it too.
Back through the middle, the shortstop is going to make the play, Rengifo, and steps on the bag, and that will do it for the Astros. So a hit and a walk with 2 outs. Silseth works through it. 5 shutout innings, and the Angels lead 1-0.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
I'ma do what? That's on me. I'm a young boy, but I'll keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. I'ma do what? That's on me. I'm a young boy, but I'll keep it OG. No, you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me, on me. Didn't want that stuff, but that's on me. Built the house up, got the keys. They say you can't shine if you stay low key. That's on me, on me.
Watch games and coverage all day, every day, your way on MLB Network. Think baseball.
There's something that's been missing in the debate.
Think analysis.
He really looked like the perfect thing to add to this club last night.
Think advanced metrics.
The new rules are having an impact, and I'll bottom line it.
Think MLB Now, the show for the thinking fan, only on MLB Network.
Hey kids, join MLB Network and your favorite players for a show made just for you. Play ball. It's all the big moments, bat flips, and amazing plays from an exciting week of baseball and tips to up your game on MLB Network.
Live or on demand now, available at a new low price for the season, starting at $59.99. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Well, José Urquidy is indeed back out for another inning, or possibly just another batter.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, huh?
Faces Chad Wallach here. Urquidy with 7 strikeouts without a walk today, allowing a couple of doubles in the 3rd inning, but those are the only base runners of the game. He has had 4 perfect innings out of the first 5 as he delivers wide to Wallach 1-0. Urquidy's pitch count now at 77, but Parker Mashinsky continues to warm up. 2 lefties due up after Wallach. Moniak and Otani as he fouls that one away. It's 1-1. Urquidy made 4 rehab assignment starts, went 2 innings, 3 innings, 4 innings, and 5 innings, built up his pitch count each of those outings from 32 all the way up to 76, just like a spring training setup. So this will be his 80th pitch, the most pitches he has thrown in a start since back in April. Ground ball, it's going to find the hole between short and third. And Wallach on a 1-2 pitch delivers a single, and as he rounds first base, Dusty Baker comes out of the dugout. Just the 3rd hit allowed by José Urquidy. Urquidy goes 5 innings today, pitched well, but unfortunately didn't have any run support, so he is going to leave with his team down 1-0. Baker will bring Parker Mashinsky in to face the lefties, as José Urquidy should get a nice hand on his way out. 1-0 Angels.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort, and it all starts right here with Harold and Adnan on MLB Tonight's First Pitch.
Who's ready for baseball? It's time for the first pitch. We're about 25 minutes from game time. I'm so excited.
Our quick hitters right out of the gate. During the games, we take you to the games where you might see a lot.
Greg, we have a potential walk-off at Wrigley.
No way. What's going on?
Oh, they've got a runner at third and Nico Horner's up.
Here's a pitch.
Base hit. Nico rocks it out. Cubs win.
Cubs win. And after the games, we're all about instant highlights and player reactions.
Nico, congratulations. Your first career walk-off hit. How did that one feel?
Oh, man, it's as good as it gets. An amazing crowd here tonight. Wrigley Field is a very special place. We're feeling good right now, for sure.
And that's how this team covers every team, all in a night's work on MLB Tonight.
Loco. Bueno, hay que conmemorar la vaina, loco. Una corona que no la mete. Ay, ay, ay. Me debe una. No había visto una ciudad así tan bonita, ¿no? Wow. Como el estadio allá se ve. Pues para la segunda casa. Dame tu secreto de la vida más que yo me disfruto lo más que yo pueda de mi vida. Salud. La vida más fina.
Top of the sixth with nobody out. It's going to give way to Parker Mashinsky. Our Crawford Bach call to the bullpen will get his 9th appearance, being recalled after Phil Maton took a line drive off his right elbow. Just a bruise. He'll be on that injured list until he's ready to come back. But Mashinsky getting an opportunity for the first time since the 2nd of this month.
Here is Mickey Moniak taking that first pitch in. The slider never moved. It's 1-0. Moniak accounting for the only run of this game with a double off the wall in right field. Scored Eduardo Escobar. So a runner on first, Chad Wallach with nobody out as Mashinsky enters the game. And Parker catches the inside corner. It's 1-1. Mashinsky with much better numbers this year at the minor league level against lefties than righties. He last pitched Tuesday for the Sugarland Space Cowboys, working on 4 days rest. And gets ahead 1-2.
Good spin on that last pitch. That previous one that didn't break was a lighter. That one right there was the slider. A little more slide in that pitch.
And a ground ball towards Dubon. Could be two. Flips to Kessinger. The turn in time for the double play. Well done. Just enough to get Moniak by less than half a stride.
That was pretty close. It's at first base. Not going to challenge that one. Thumbs down from Ray Montgomery. Good slider off the end of the bat to Dubon. Quick flip to Greg Kessinger, and then the throw across to get hustling Moniak. Almost handcuffed John Singleton right there with a little two-seamer down.
Now Mashinsky will face Shohei Otani. He's faced him one other time in his career. And he was able to retire Shohei last year back in April. Only batter in this lineup that Parker Mashinsky has faced. Shohei has been retired on a great play by Mauricio Dubon and also struck out, one of the 7 strikeouts for Jose Urquidy. This ball hit into center field and hit well all the way back, and that ball is on top of the batter's eye. Shohei Otani hits number 41 on the season. He had gone 8 games without a home run before today. That was his longest drought of the season. But he picks up number 41 on a bomb to straightaway center field.
And the only 2 people I've seen go up above the batter's eye in a game have been Yordan Alvarez and now Shohei Otani. Mattress Firm Supermo is going to show you that slider up and out. 110.2 off the bat, estimated 448 on that home run. It would have landed in our lap if we were calling the game back there like we have in the past.
Wow. You're right. That is rare air up there at the top of the batter's eye as Mashinsky gets Drury to ground 1 to short, and that will end the inning. But a home run by Shohei Otani gives the Angels a 2-0 lead.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network. Keep up with every team on MLB Network wherever you go. Just download the MLB app, click MLB Network, and sign in with your TV provider info. Then watch MLB Network all day, every day, your way. This This is Christopher Russo. This is Joey Votto. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Christopher Russo plays hard, so he doesn't end up here.
Must be nice to sit atop that Madison Avenue ivory tower, looking down on us with those luscious locks. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace.
High Heat with Christopher Russo.
It took me the last 2 weeks prepping for this interview. I didn't realize how much I love you. You are the best.
On MLB Network.
It's like got him, it stays fair. Everybody feel it, come around with the rhythm, it's a sound. Everybody get down when we bring it to you. It's like that.
We're going to talk John Singleton here, a guy who worked his way back to the majors after a stint in 2014-15. He gets the start, first game back at Minute Maid Park, and goes deep, not once, but twice. Really deep. A lot of fun for his teammates to watch. Everybody's rooting for this guy. And he said sometimes it's even hard for him to believe all of it, but super grateful to have this opportunity to get.
And we'll see Singleton bat third in this inning. It'll be Kyle Tucker, then Chaz McCormick, and then John. As the Astros will face a new pitcher here in the 6th inning.
It's going to be José Soriano coming out of that bullpen. 26 innings on the season. His last 18 2/3 innings he's pitched. He's given up 6 earned runs in 15 appearances. Opponent's hitting .202 against him. He's got an electric right arm, averaging 98.8 miles an hour on his fastball.
Astros have seen him this year, including his major league debut, which took place at Minute Maid Park on June 3rd. Kyle Tucker faced him a couple of times. Actually, he's faced him just once and drew a walk. That one's down and in. It's 1-1. It'll be Tucker and then Chaz and Singleton. Tucker has a double today in 2 at-bats. Chaz has a single in 2 at-bats, and Singleton reached on a walk. Astros did not have a lot of base runners against Chase Silseth. Just 4 hits and 2 walks in 5 innings of work. This one hit high in the air to right field, and that is playable for Hunter Renfroe. Kyle Tucker retired for the first out of the 6th inning. I'll bring up Chaz McCormick. So on the heels of a couple of 11-run games, the Astros shut out over 5 innings by Silseth. Chaz goes after the first pitch and misses the fastball 0-1. Soriano, 24 years old, a starter in his minor league career, but converted to the bullpen this season. And he is looking good against Chaz McCormick. 3-pitch strikeout. First strikeout for Soriano, 2 outs in the inning.
Stay connected to the Astros throughout the season by following AT&T Sportsnet on social media for game highlights, player interviews, and giveaways. Find us on Instagram and Facebook for the latest on the Astros all season long.
Well, here is the aforementioned John Singleton, a fly out and a walk in this game. And he takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Soriano throwing strikes. That's 5 in a row since the flyout by Tucker. Struck out McCormick on 3 pitches. Now he's 0-2 on Singleton. Kendall Graveman warming up in the Astros bullpen. He'll have the 7th. Singleton stays alive on that foul ball. Fouled off the netting, caught by the guy who he's taken over for at first base, José Abreu. Abreu going on the IL, and Singleton has made every start since Abreu has not been in the lineup. Down 2-2. Talked about Singleton's strikeout to walk ratio, how it's improved as he has gone along in his career.
Tough sliders to lay off of, and sinkers down. Works the walk. Good AB by John.
Yeah, he has now 2 walks today and 5 walks since joining the Astros. By the way, it's 3-2. 4 walks since joining the Astros.
So far, good at bat.
4 walks since joining the Astros with 1 strikeout. Singleton had taken off the shin guard, the arm guard, and now he's coming back to the plate with a 3-2 count. Kind of lost track of how many pitches have been thrown.
Please hold.
So the elbow guard is back, the shin guard is back, and he's ready to go with a 3-2 count, and probably apologizes to Lance Barrett there.
Yeah, fortunate not to get the flag for delay of game.
There we go. That's ball 4. That's his 5th walk.
Good at bat by John.
So there are 2 walks to Singleton, and the Astros have a 2-out base runner. Of the Astros' last 5 base runners, 4 of them have come with 2 outs. Here's Mauricio Dubon. He batted with 2 on and 2 outs last time and bounced into a fielder's choice. Dubon takes one that is called a strike. Could have been up.
Yeah. We would like to not have 98 called in that region for a strike.
There's a base hit into right center field. Singleton is going to go first to third. Moniak will play the ball back into second. The Astros have runners on the corners. A little 2-out rally just like they had in the last inning.
Gotta love pitchers. Just blow 98 up and in. Don't even get a swing from the hitter, and then you just float a curveball out there about 15 miles an hour less out over the plate. And Dubon just says, thank you very much. I'm going to get that base hit and keep this inning going.
Another mound visit for the pitching coach Matt Wise as Dubon puts runners on the corners with 2 outs for Gray Kessinger. Now word from Reliant.
Reliant, official energy provider of the Houston Astros.
That'll bring up Kessinger. Gray's 1 for 2 today. Double down the line and left, and also grounded out. Big spot for Gray, who doesn't get a chance to play a whole lot. First pitch bounces away. Here comes Singleton. He's going to score. Soriano never covered. Not sure if it would have mattered, but there was nobody covering home on that pitch in the dirt. Wallach had to eat it, and the Astros now within a run.
Great read by John Singleton. You got to anticipate that ball in the dirt. Soriano's got some nasty stuff. But that ball kicking well away. You can see Wallach glance, but Soriano just bought a ticket and enjoyed the show of Singleton crossing home plate.
Now Kessinger grounds one to third. Long throw by Escobar and a very good throw by Eduardo to end the inning. 1 hit, 1 walk, a wild pitch helped. The Astros within a run. It's 2-1 after 6.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party.
Oh, man.
With live look-ins to the night's biggest moments.
How hot was that?
That's money.
What?
The best interviews.
I've never asked a player, do you need a blanket? It is kind of cold out there.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best former players fresh off the field.
Get your hands up.
There's nothing quite like MLB Tonight.
This is going to be a big deal tonight.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network. Sunday, on the next episode of MLB's Carded. Join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
Notable Hall of Famer, Astros record holder. Did you get Cesar Cedeno, fourth in the National League Rookie of the Year voting at age 19 back in 1970. Inducted into the Astros Hall of Fame in 2020 and remains the Astros stolen base leader, 487 career steals. 2-1 game. We head to the seventh. Parker Mashinsky still in there, maybe just for one batter this inning, as he faces a left-hand hitting Mike Moustakas to start the inning. Moustakas has flied out to right and grounded out. Mashinsky allowed a home run last inning to Shohei Otani. Right now, that's the difference in this game. As he delivers a strike, it's 0-1. Parker also got a couple of groundouts, won a double play to get through the sixth inning. Ground ball and a diving attempt by Singleton. He knocks it down. He'll flip it to Parker, and he stayed with it. Moustakas is out as Mashinsky claps into his glove for the new first baseman, John Singleton. The former first baseman now making his return, so new this year.
Ball pulled down that right field line. Singleton throwing the glove at it, knocks it down, doesn't give up on the play, and neither does Mashinsky, to his credit. Moustakas took a long time to unfold. Good play.
Dusty Baker going out to the mound here to make a pitching change as Kendall Graveman will take over for Parker Mashinsky. So we'll have a new pitcher here in the seventh in a 2-1 game.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. See the night's biggest moments. What? The best interviews.
We all love DJ Dan.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
Been a good month for the Astros. Been a really good month for the Pen. The summer, they had some tough days in July, but they turned it around quickly, and they have been shut down since July. So August, the ERA 145, very good, holding opponents to a 584 OPS. Very, very good this month for the Arm Barn. And I remember talking to some of these guys in that month of July. No panic with a bunch of veterans down there. They knew they could turn it around. And the good news on Phil Maton, guys, at the MRI results showing nothing really there, just a lot of bruising for him. He's going to throw in Miami. Should be ready to go when that IL stint is up. Blummer.
That's good to hear. More the better.
That really good news. Maton had a scary moment there with that line drive off the elbow in Friday night's game. Chas McCormick will make this play for the second out. In a crazy way, and you never want somebody to get hurt, obviously, but in a crazy way, it's not the worst thing because Maton was really soaking up a lot of innings.
He had been over the course of the season. Was unfortunate to get hit on that elbow, but at the same time, like you're saying, TK, maybe just a little R&R to let that elbow heal up might benefit him down the stretch. If you take a look at Graveman's numbers on the season.
And kind of a reset, too. His strike throwing ability was really good earlier in the year and not as good in the last couple of weeks. As John Singleton makes the play. Nice work. Efficient by Kendall Graveman. Barely got a chance to talk about him, and he gets 2 quick outs. And now, 7th inning stretch time here with the Astros down 2-1. We're going to stay right here as we do across Major League Baseball on Sunday afternoons. And we'll send it to public address announcer Bob Ford.
Would you please rise and join us now as we take pause, not only to honor our great nation, but to salute those who defend our freedom and liberty each and every day. We welcome back Miss Monica Lynn. Please join her now for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
MLB The Show Legend Line. Ready to play?
Let's get it.
Come on. Nice.
That was sick.
Man, you like that? Check out the new Storylines mode where you can play as one of the Negro League baseball legends.
Your voice sounds familiar. Do I know you?
Just call me the captain.
Rated E for everyone.
This is Christopher Russo. This is Joey Votto. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Christopher Russo plays hard, so he doesn't end up here.
Must be nice to sit atop that Madison Avenue ivory tower, looking down on us with those luscious locks. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace.
High Heat with Christopher Russo.
It took me the last 2 weeks prepping for this interview. I didn't realize how much I love you. You are the best.
On MLB Network.
Jake Myers, he's had himself a very good week. Also, his week in review goes back to August 6th at New York when he hit 2 3-run go-ahead home runs. 6 RBIs in that game. Big swings out there in the Bronx. Endearing himself to the locals at the Bronx Zoo. Astros love putting up numbers out there at Yankee Stadium, and Jake Myers got in on the action last week.
A career high in that RBI category. The Astros could use some offense today, down 2-1 as they face their third pitcher of the afternoon.
It's going to be newly acquired Reynaldo Lopez, who came over from the Chicago White Sox, one of the 6 pitchers traded away from the South Side. Overall in the season, 48 innings and a 3.94 ERA.
Angels made a lot of moves at the trade deadline, acquiring Lopez along with Lucas Giolito. Giolito will face the Rangers in the next series. Also acquired Randall Grichuk and C.J. Cron from the Rockies after getting Mike Moustakas earlier this year from the Rockies. But since that trade deadline, the Angels are only 2-9, despite the fact that they kind of went for it. Dominic Leone, another guy that they picked up at the trade deadline. So it's not gone the way that Phil Nevin or Perry Minasian, who was here in town, the general manager, hoped for since that trade deadline. But they lead today 2-1, and Lopez, one of the new pitchers for the Angels. Lance Barrett warning Lopez that he has to at least give the hitter a chance to get ready when he gets into that batter's box. Maldi 3 for 10 in his career against Lopez. Hits this ball high in the air to center field. Back goes Moniak. He'll have room. And that's the first out of the inning. Celebrate Jose Altuve's 6th Silver Slugger this Saturday when the Astros take on the Seattle Mariners. 10,000 fans receive an Altuve Silver Slugger bobblehead courtesy of Wood Forest National Bank. Get your tickets at astros.com/promotions. Altuve batting here with 1 out in the 7th, a 14-game hitting streak on the line. 0 for 2 today with a walk, a strikeout, a line out, and a walk. Pitch up and in, 1-0. Check swing, bounce one over the head of Alex Bregman on deck. The count's 1-1. Angels traded away a couple of prospects in that deal with the White Sox. Catcher Edgar Quero and Kai Bush, a left-handed pitcher. And the Angels hoping to make something happen this year in what might be their final year with Shohei Otani. Counts 2-2 as Altuve misses that slider. The Angels started the day 2 games under 500. A lot of teams for them to jump in the wild card picture, and 12.5 behind the Rangers in the division. Altuve stays alive.
Lopez has a couple of breaking balls. He has a slider. Just saw right there, and also has a curveball and a changeup to back up his fastball. Fastball's pretty good, averaging 98 miles an hour.
Altuve keeps spoiling 2-strike pitches. That last one at 99 miles an hour. That's what he did his first time up against Chase Silseth. Ended up with a 10-pitch at bat. In fact, this is pitch number 25 Altuve has seen today in his 4 plate appearances. And it's down. It's 3-2.
It's usually his pace for the month.
Yeah, the incredible thing about this hitting streak is how many walks he has drawn during this streak. 14-game hitting streak with 10 walks, including one his last time up. On the ground towards third, Escobar has it on a couple of hops. And Altuve's retired on a 3-2 pitch for the second out of the inning. I'll bring up Alex Bregman. Bregman 1 for 3 today. Now 9 for 22 his last 6 games. Goes after that first slider, 0-1. Tried to hold up on a fastball in, went too far, says Ryan Wills, the first base umpire. It's 0-2.
Can make the decision at home. Farrell getting a little too far out in front of home plate, gets a call.
Just 5 hits for the Astros today, one more than the Angels, who have 4. The Angels lead this game 2-1 in the 7th. Inside 2-2. Lopez would prefer not to face Yordan Alvarez. Yordan, even though he's not locked in right now, has 2 home runs and 4 at-bats against Lopez. But right now he's a pitch away from facing Yordan as the go-ahead runner, as Bregman has a 3-2 count. There he is. 2 for 4 with 2 bombs against Lopez. Bregman breaks his bat, but it's going to work out. Alex Bregman drops one into right field. He'll be the tying runner on base with 2 outs in the 7th. Breggy back-to-back hits his last 2 ABs.
Not hit very hard, but hits nonetheless. They've been trying to tie him up inside with that fastball, and even though they do, he's still able to punch that into right field, extend this inning, and give Yordan another chance. And that's all you want to do. Even though Yordan is not locked in, just keep giving him opportunities, and eventually he's going to come around.
Both of his home runs against Lopez have been on sliders. Gets a first pitch fastball and hits it the other way, 0-1. Hit an 0-1 fastball, hit an 0-1 slider out earlier this year on March 30th against the White Sox, and then faced Lopez in the game yesterday. Lopez struck him out yesterday on a slider. So Yordan has faced Lopez back in March with the White Sox, and then yesterday with the Angels, now seeing him for a 3rd time this year. His other home run came in 21 on a 2-2 slider. Now it's off the plate, 2-1. Yordan just 1 for 11 in this series, but he has driven in a couple of runs. Center field, straight away. Moniak goes back. He's at the wall, and he will make the play. 405 feet away from home plate. Ronaldo Lopez knows he got away with one there, as Yordan hits it to the deepest part of the field.
Home cooks, start your ovens. It's time to get dinner ready faster. With Home Chef's easy prep and no mess options, you're winning dinner when you cook with Home Chef. Get oven-ready meals done in 3, 2, 1. It's time to set the table and go eat. Delicious meets simple. Get 18 free meals at homechef.com.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car. Then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleepwithauraring.com.
Kendall Graveman back out there for more work as he pitches the 8th inning. Graveman got 2 outs quickly in the 7th inning to end the inning, only threw 3 pitches. And the first pitch swung on. Randall Grichuk down the line, and a strong throw made by Greg Kessinger to get Grichuk for the first out of the 8th inning.
Seen some good defense in this game. Let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Second hitter of the game, Shohei Otani making a bid at 107.5 off the bat, but Mauricio Dubon lays out early, is able to corral it and make a strong throw to John Singleton, who's stretching out for him to secure that out of Shohei Otani. Great defense to start this game.
There's a called strike to Eduardo Escobar. Escobar 1 for 2 with a double, scored the first run of the game, and Graveman has him swinging through the fastball. It's 0-2. Graveman has worked multiple innings just 2 times this year. Both times he went an inning and a third. Did it once with the Astros in New York against the Yankees on August 3rd. Did it once back on May 30th for the White Sox against these same Los Angeles Angels. And Graveman looking great today, throwing strikes and picking up quick outs. His first strikeout getting Escobar on 3 pitches.
No, I think you've nailed it with saying that he's been throwing strikes. He's made an adjustment in between last couple of outings and really getting after that strike zone, getting more direct towards home plate, seeing some better action on those pitches. When he's right, he's getting the swing and miss and the ground balls, and that's how he's gotten the first 2 outs this inning.
First pitch misses into Chad Wallach. Wallach singled in 2 at-bats. Angels have the lefty Matt Moore warming up. Looks like he might have the bottom half of the 8th inning. 2-0 the count to Wallach. Tucker, McCormick, and Singleton due up in the bottom half of this inning. That one missing a little in, 3-0. So after Kendall Graveman came in and threw 6 of 7 strikes, he's now missed on the last 3 at 3-0 to the number 9 hitter Wallach. That one's down. That's a 4-pitch walk. So 2-out base runner for the Angels in the 8th. Ryan Abreu warming up. Dusty Baker gets off his chair, and I think he's going to make another mid-inning pitching change. We haven't seen that too often this year, where we've had 3 different mid-inning pitching changes for the Astros. Parker Mashinsky came on, a batter into the 6th. Kendall Graveman came on, a batter into the 7th, and now with 1 on and 2 outs, Brian Abreu is going to take over for Graveman here in the 8th. So Graveman will leave after facing 5 batters, walks the last one. It's a 2-1 game.
I was pretty much going to be bald by the time I was 30.
Took a mirror to the back. I was like, oh, wow, my hair is thinning.
My confidence was gone until I started using Hims. I went to the Hims website.
And asked a few medical history questions. I could do it from anywhere. My prescription shipped to my door.
I never expected to have this much hair in my 50s.
There's a product out there that actually works.
I feel very confident. Start your free online visit today at forhims.com.
We love going to games, but good seats get pricey. So we use Game Time. Game Time checks ticket prices in real time and finds you all the best last-minute deals. We got our seats 20 minutes ago for 60% off. Last-minute tickets at the best price in seconds. Download Game Time now.
They said optical shops weren't very inviting. So we, Warby Parker, created ones that were. They said prescription eyewear was too expensive, so we offered more affordable glasses, contacts, and eye exams. They said opticians weren't always friendly, so we hired only the friendliest and the most knowledgeable. And finally, they said the whole experience was just kind of unpleasant, so we set out to change that too. Visit a Warby Parker store and see for yourself.
Off to Miami after the game today for the Astros. They will play 3 against the Marlins, who are fighting for the final wild card spot in the National League. The Mariners have been hot. They lost in extra innings last night, but they had won 8 games in a row before that. Then the Red Sox will face the Astros 7 out of 10 games beginning next Monday. The Tigers in between. And then we kick off September with the Yankees. That Thursday, August 24th game against the Red Sox is the final Thursday on the schedule for the Astros the rest of the way. 5 straight Thursday off days at the end of the year. Brian Abreu, the new pitcher here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, 2 outs in this 8th inning, and Brian Abreu up there to try and get Mickey Moniak. Starts him off with that slider. Abreu only threw 8 pitches yesterday, went an inning, and that was it. Just 8 pitches to get out of that inning.
So he faces Moniak, as you said, with 2 outs. There is a runner on, as Wallach walked against Graveman. Graveman retired 4 hitters in the first 4 batters he faced, and then Wallach. It's 1-1 the count to Moniak. Ground ball right to John Singleton. A little jumping catch, and he backs up and steps on the bag for the final out of the inning. So the Astros will bat in the bottom half of the 8th, down 2-1.
Covering a full night of baseball is a team effort. From the first pitch,
let's go to the ballpark,
to live look-ins and post-game reactions.
Tell us how this one feels.
That's how this team covers every team on MLB Tonight.
Imagine an entire channel dedicated to taking you to the most exciting moments in baseball as they happen.
And it's gone!
With live look-ins to clutch at-bats.
A walk-off slam!
And players on the edge of making history.
This could be it! 62!
It's the best seat in the house at every ballpark. All commercial-free.
Can you believe it?
MLB Network Strike Zone. Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long. Sunday, on the next episode of MLB's Carded, join Greg Amsinger for a look at all things cardboard, from vintage to modern. We've got it covered. MLB's Carded, Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network.
What makes baseball even better? Shohei, more action? How about more steals, Acuna? More hits? Nestor? Okay, Mookie, more hits? What if the games are just quicker?
Just a bit outside.
The game has changed, and fans are saying, oh, yeah.
Which Astros star is your team player of the week? Look at Kyle Tucker getting lots of votes today, 79%. Jose Altuve only with 21. Thanks so much for following and voting at ATT Sportsnet SW. To get
2 guys that could be in the bidding for American League Player of the Week, both having huge weeks. Astros down 2-1. Kyle Tucker will be the leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the 8th, facing a new Angels pitcher.
It's going to be veteran left-hander Matt Moore making his 35th appearance. Spent 40 games on the injured list with a right oblique strain. But since July 21st, he has gone 9 consecutive scoreless appearances to get that ERA down to 1.70.
So Kyle Tucker will be the first batter he faces. Tucker 1 for 3 today. Tuck's faced Matt Moore 4 times in his career. He's 0 for 3 with a walk against him. Tuck with a double today, up to 29 doubles on the year. Jeremy Pena, the only other Astro with as many as 20 doubles. And the first pitch is wide, 1-0. Astros have had their share of runners today. They have left 8 on in the first 7 innings, including 1 every inning since the first. Next pitch missing wide. Tuck has a 2-0 count.
Angels have done a good job with the Astros and runners in scoring position. They're holding them to an 0 for 7 in this game with runners in scoring position.
Now one pitch picks up the corner at the knees. It's 2-1. Astros have double barrel action going with Ryan Presley and Rafael Montero. Presley obviously would pitch in a closed situation if the Astros take the lead. Montero would pitch if the Astros don't score here. Not sure who would pitch if the game was tied. We'll find out. 3-1. And a foul tip caught by Wallach. Moore comes back from down to the count 3-1. He gets Tucker on strikes for the first out of the inning. Now to bring up Chas McCormick. Chas has a single today. He's also struck out a couple of times. Chas did hit a home run against Moore the one time he faced him earlier this year. Hit a first pitch fastball for a strike, so Moore starts him off with a changeup. It's 0-1. Or hit a first pitch fastball for a home run, I should say. Gets the fastball here. Chas down to the count 0-2. Chas into left field. That'll be down for a hit. Second hit of the day for McCormick. The Astros have the tying run on with 1 out in the 8th.
Good job of hooking this changeup into left field. Kind of pulled it across the zone to the benefit of Chas McCormick, who had to go down on those legs and get that. He himself just top hand spun that one over the shortstop head.
And a little top spin forehand for Chas for the base hit, and now John Singleton the batter. Singleton with a half swing and a foul ball. It's 0-1. John with a couple of walks today is also flied out to center field in his one official at bat. Fouls that one back. It's 0-2. Only run the Astros have scored today was on a wild pitch uncorked by José Soriano in the 6th inning. Chase Silseth, 5 shutout innings. Soriano gave up the run in the 6th. Ronaldo Lopez had a shutout 7th, and now Matt Moore pitching in the 8th. And that's a called third strike on the outside corner. perfectly placed by Moore for his second strikeout of the inning.
That pitch right there has really become Matt Moore's strength, is that curveball. And if you start to locate it like that and get the hitter guessing, you're going to be in good shape.
So here's Mauricio Dubon, who singled his last time up, 1 for 3 today. Change up for a strike, 0-1. Astros now up to 7 hits in the game. Also drawn 3 walks, but only 1 run to show for it today. As Dubon down in the count, 0-2. Moore, after falling behind Tucker 3-1, has been 0-2 on McCormick, 0-2 on Singleton, and 0-2 on Dubon. He has thrown 10 consecutive strikes after that 3-1 count to Tucker. Big crowd again today. They had 40,000 plus for all 3 games against the Angels. On Friday night, 41,152, the best crowd of the weekend. 40,311 yesterday and 40,333 today. Great crowds for the series. There's the first pitch that has missed in the last 12 for Moore. It's up and in, 1-2.
Dubon able to foul that one off. There was a changeup after that fastball up and in. Matt Moore probably wanted that one down and away, allowing Doobie to fight on.
There goes McCormick. The pitch is down, and that's going to be a stolen base for Chaz. He extends his career high to 13 stolen bases on the year. Previous career high was 4.
Chaz taking a chance right here. Stole that base easily on that curveball in the dirt. Well, base hit ties this thing up.
Yeah, it could end up being a big steal here if Dubon can connect on a base hit. Dubon keeps fighting after being down 0-2. And Moore does strike him out on that changeup to end the inning. 3 strikeouts in the 8th for Matt Moore. A single, 1 man left on base. Still a 2-1 Angels lead as we head to the 9th.
This is Mookie Betts. This is Christopher Russo. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Mookie Betts plays hard, so he doesn't end up here. High Heat with Christopher Russo, helping players play harder on MLB Network.
Loco. Bueno, hay que conmemorar la vaina, loco. Una corona que no la mete. Ay, ay, ay. Me debe una. No había visto una ciudad así tan bonita, ¿no? Wow. Como el estadio ya se ve. Pues para la segunda casa. Dame tu secreto de la vida más que yo me disfruto lo más que yo pueda de mi vida. Salud. La vida más fina.
Astros in this tight ball game. How about that one? In the 7th inning, John Singleton over at first today. Making a good play on Moose, another first baseman, to get the out. TK?
All right, Julie, on to the 9th we go. 2-1 the score in favor of the Angels. The Astros have never led in this game. We'll try and keep it right where it is with a new pitcher.
It's going to be Rafael Montero making his 48th appearance. Did a good job on the 11th against these Angels. Won an inning, had a strikeout, and throwing 19 pitches. That strikeout was of Shohei Otani. Last 14 appearances was a 2.04 ERA.
So here is Shohei, who's right now the difference in this game, as he hit a pitch off Parker Mashinsky on top of the batter's eye in center field. Gave the Angels a 2-0 lead at the time. It's now a 2-1 game. Otani's 41st home run of the year. He's also been robbed on a great play by Dubon, part of the good glove work by the Astros today. He struck out against Urquidy in the 3rd inning as well. This will be the final time the Astros see the Angels this year. The Angels, 2 games under 500, really need an incredible finish to get into the postseason. We mentioned earlier 32-12 in their final 44 games would get them to 90 wins on the year. And that would be kind of at the bottom threshold of the wild card picture. But Otani's putting together a season that has been one of the most phenomenal years you'll ever see. He literally could sit out the final 7 weeks of the year and still probably win MVP.
I agree with that. He most definitely could.
He won't sit out the final 7 weeks, but his numbers are unreal. That one's wide, 3-2.
He's been sitting atop that home run lead in the major leagues until Matt Olson of the Atlanta Braves hit 2 the other day.
And Olson got 2 yesterday. That doubleheader shellacking of the Mets. Otani apologizes to Maldives. He may have caught him on the backswing. In addition to everything else, he's probably one of the most respectful players on the field. He apologized the previous pitch for hitting him on the backswing, and he apologized for hitting him on a foul ball. That's how nice can you be?
There was a lot of action behind home plate. I'm glad we're showing this angle and not the other one, but Otani realized that got Martin in a special spot. He's like, my bad.
Unreal. Now that's up and in. That'll be ball 4. So Otani, after getting down in the count, stayed alive and draws the walk for Montero. So I'll bring up Brandon Drury 0 for 3 today. Second walk allowed by Astros pitching. 2 of the last 3 batters have walked. Now Maldi going out to have a word with Rafael. Astros kick off the next series against the Marlins with Framber Valdez on the mound. Framber will face the lefty Braxton Garrett tomorrow night. All night games in Miami. 3-game series and 3-game road trip before the Astros back here next Friday. Astros will face 2 lefties in that series against the Marlins. Miami losing today to the Yankees. That game is in the bottom of the 9th, 7-3. Foul ball out of play. It's 0-1 to Drury. Drury has a 4-game hitting streak. 6 for 16 coming in, but 0 for 3 today. Montero ahead to 0-1. That one's down and in, 1-1. The 4 hits today for the Angels, a couple of doubles in the 3rd inning that scored a run, and a solo home run by Otani in the 6th inning. Just one single, that was a single by Wallach, and he was erased on a double play.
Maldy's getting a tough inning for Maldy, huh?
Yeah, he's getting beat up here in the 9th.
He doesn't waste much time. He gets right back behind home plate and continues with the game, to his credit.
Otani, who leads his team in every category, has 16 steals and 20 attempts this year. That pitch is up, 2-2. Well, the Marlins were down 7-3 to the Yankees going into the bottom of the 9th, and they've scored 4 runs to tie that game.
Go Fish.
Clay Holmes giving up 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th. There goes Otani, swing and a miss. Maldonado's throw is off the glove of Dubon and into center field. Maldi asking for interference from Drury, but he's not going to get the call, as that ball just went off the glove of Dubon into center for a stolen base and an error.
th bag on the season as Drury swings over the top of that changeup. Looks like Maldi had a little bit of a case. Lance Barrett not giving him that opportunity. Throw kind of tailed away. Dubon unable to knock it down. Gives another 90 feet to Otani.
Pitch up and into Moustakas, 1-0. Infield in with Moustakas batting. Moustakas started the game at first base, moved to 3rd last inning as C.J. Cron came in defensively at first, and Escobar was out of the game. Pitch down is 2-0. So far, Montero has thrown 16 pitches, only 7 strikes. Three 3-0 the count. Hunter Renfroe waits on deck. A walk to Otani, a stolen base, and an error, putting Otani over to 3rd base. That'll be a 4-pitch walk to Moustakas.
'24 season tickets are on sale now. The best way to experience every home run, every double play, and every moment is at the ballpark. Enjoy every game of the 2024 season by becoming an Astros season ticket holder. Visit astros.com/season tickets to learn more.
Ryan Stanek starting to warm up as Montero gets a visit from pitching coach Josh Miller with 1st and 3rd and 1 out, and Hunter Renfroe due up. So the Astros and Montero specifically trying to keep this game at a 1-run game. The Astros have their 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up next inning. Gray Kessinger, Martin Maldonado, the top of the order, Jose Altuve. They do have Yainer Diaz and Jeremy Pena on their bench if they choose. Fastball missing down, 1-0, 5 straight out of the zone for Montero. There's a strike, 1-1. Astros had the infield in with 1 out. They moved the infield back. They had the infield in with Moustakas batting and 1 out. They moved the infield back here with Moustakas on first, hoping to turn 2. Now rides high, 2-1. Couple of walks and a strikeout in this inning. There's a pop-up. Maldonado looks like he has room right near the edge of the screen there. Makes the play as he crossed over the on-deck circle and made the catch for out number 2. Big out for Montero.
Yeah, big out with that pop-up, being able to stay in play and allow Maldi to get back there. Chucks the helmet. Navigates that on-deck circle beautifully. Then immediately checks that runner at third base and first base. Nicely done. Big out for Montero.
Now Andrew Velasquez, who entered the game defensively for the Angels a couple of innings ago, bats for the first time. Velasquez takes a 98-mile-an-hour fastball down for a ball, 1-0. Velasquez has just 1 at bat in this series. It was a home run yesterday in the 9th inning. Came against Hector Neris, hit it out the other way. Swing and a miss at the fastball. It's 1-1. It was one of those Crawford box specials. It would have been a home run in just 2 of 30 stadiums. For Velasquez, his 2nd home run of the year. That one just missed in, 2-1. That one's off the plate wide, 3-1. Velasquez with 60 at bats on the year, hitting .217. Both of his RBIs are on those solo home runs he's hit. But he's got a 3-1 count here with runners on the corners and 2 outs in a 1-run game. And he fouls that one out of play. It'll be 3-2. th pitch of the inning coming from Montero. That'll be ball 4. Lost Velasquez there. 3rd walk of the inning. And that'll load him up for the birthday boy Randall Grichuk. Spending his 32nd birthday here in his hometown. And Dusty Baker has seen enough from Rafael Montero. He's going to go get Montero here after walking the bases loaded in this inning. So Montero, who had that brilliant year last year, continues to search for that consistency in 2023. He'll leave the game with 3 on and 2 outs, and Ryan Stanek will come on to try and get Randall Grichuk here.
Listen to live blackout-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. See the night's biggest moments, the best interviews.
We all love DJ Dan.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network.
Had a whole lot of mid-inning pitching changes all year long, but here we have seen a mid-inning pitching change in 4 consecutive innings. And this is a big spot for Ryan Stanek.
Really is. Bases loaded, couple of outs out there. Looking to strand these runners for Rafael Montero, but he's another pitcher that's been good in his last 10 games. He has a 2 ERA in that span. His ERA down to 4.28 this season and making his 44th appearance.
So 3 walks allowed by Montero in the inning. Now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Randall Grichuk against Stanek. And there is a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Grichuk has grounded out 3 times today. That one pulled a little bit with the fastball, 1-1. The Miami Marlins were down in their game to the Yankees 7-2 heading into the bottom of the 8th. They scored a run in the bottom of the 8th to make it 7-3, and then they scored 5 in the bottom of the 9th to win that game 8-7.
Wow.
They walked off the Yankees.
It's destructive. That's a good bullpen for the Yankees too.
High fly ball, right field. Tucker in the corner is going to have room. Stanek strands the bases loaded and gives the Astros a shot in the bottom half of the 9th, down 2-1.
MLB Tonight, the ultimate late-night baseball party. See the night's biggest moments, the best interviews.
We all love DJ Dan.
And cutting-edge analysis from TV's best.
This one takes the cake.
That is awesome.
MLB Tonight, late nights on MLB Network. This is Christopher Russo. This is Joey Votto. And this is the High Heat Hot Seat. Christopher Russo plays hard, so he doesn't end up here.
Must be nice to sit atop that Madison Avenue ivory tower, looking down on us with those luscious locks. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a disgrace.
High Heat with Christopher Russo.
It took me the last 2 weeks prepping for this interview. I didn't realize how much I love you. You're the best.
On MLB Network.
Listen to live Blackout-free audio from every major league club.
And Aaron Judge with some thump.
Stream video of minor league games.
That's a go-ahead grand slam.
And watch the best baseball highlights and look-ins on MLB Big Inning. The all-new At Bat is your all-in-one live baseball subscription for only $3.99 per month.
There she goes. Home run, Pete Alonso.
Subscribe to At Bat within the MLB app today.
Budweiser Zero, you can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. A reminder from your friends at Silver Eagle Distributors, Houston. Buy rooms to go. Buy the piece, save a little. Buy the whole room, save a lot. And buy Saltese Beer Salt Strips. Peel it, stick it, lick it. Shop Salties.com. Bottom of the ninth, one-run game. Astros do have a pinch hitter on deck for Martin Maldonado to be Gray Kessinger, then Yainer Diaz and Jose Altuve facing the Angels closer.
Pretty good closer. You can see 24 of 26 in save opportunities for the Halos this season, a 3.50 ERA, 56 strikeouts in 46 and a third. Can battle a little bit of wildness, 27 walks in that same span.
Carlos Estevez will face Gray Kessinger, who has hit the ball to third all 3 times today. He got one past Eduardo Escobar his first time up and grounded out his last 2 times up to Escobar. So here he is leading off the 9th inning in a one-run game. First pitch, strike, 0-1. And Kessinger quickly down to the count, 0-2. Estevez, the 5th pitcher of the day for Phil Nevin. Astros with 1 run on 7 hits. They have stranded 9 runners. They've stranded somebody in every inning since the first. Kessinger strikes out on 98, first out of the inning. Oh, Yainer Diaz will get a shot here with 1 out and the base is cleared. See Yainer's numbers as a pinch hitter. He started yesterday behind the plate. Went 1 for 5, but that 1 hit was a 2 RBI base hit. Yainer also had 2 hits as a DH on Friday. Goes after the first one and fouls it away. Dots him up, bottom of the zone, 0-2.
That's a tough pitch right there. Just a good fastball in the bottom portion of the zone at 98.
And Diaz goes down on strikes on 3 pitches. Estevez striking out the first 2 batters he will face, and now he'll try and end Jose Altuve's 14-game hitting streak. As Altuve will bat here 0 for 3 with a walk today. Altuve facing Estevez for just the 2nd time in his career. Hasn't faced him since he was a Rocky back in 2020. And Jose fouls the first pitch back, 0-1. Goes after 98 up, and Estevez is quickly ahead 0-2. He struck out Kessinger on 4 pitches, struck out Maldonado on 3 pitches, and now he's 0-2 on Altuve. Missing in with back-to-back pitches is 2-2. Fly ball, right field, playable. Altuve's 14-game hitting streak comes to an end, and the Astros lose the final game of this 3-game series to the Angels, taking 2 out of 3, but losing this afternoon 2-1. Astros stranded 9 today to the Angels 5. They dropped this game to end this series. The Astros post-game show, presented by Whataburger, will feature Vanessa Richardson and Brian Bogusevic. Julia Morales will get interviews in the clubhouse. We'll hear from Dusty Baker after the game. 2-1 final. Angels win. Post-game show next.